discretion is advised.
Happy Monday. You're listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 175. Guys, that's 175 episodes of just plain goodness that we have brought your way over the last 3 years. Tonight, we're actually, I'm not going to say we're in patch 7.2.5 because we're actually, by the time you guys listen and watch, we're going to be in 7.3. So we're just going to go ahead and make it official. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all the news from World of Warcraft, which there's basically none. So not a whole lot going on there. We're going to talk about patch things, pet battle things, lore things, and random things. We have that and much, much more. So make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. Snap back and get faster for the Pet Battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. With holy might as strong as his ancient knowledge, Remedies, the Argent Loremaster. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
These two look so creepy right now, and I don't know what is going on, like, at all. I'm going to mute them now because they're really creeping me out.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yes. Very
Oh,
nice.
you guys are playing nice just to get unmuted?
King of the castle, king of the castle.
I don't know what they talk about when all that
You'll
stuff
never
is going
get
on.
used.
You guys
I
are
like
weird.
your podcast.
I don't understand what's happening. I feel like we
This
just offended
podcast
someone.
is nice not.
I don't know.
Not nice.
I don't know.
We get it. That's all that
Hello.
matters.
Hello, Bill.
I don't know what any of that means, but nonetheless, I did bring the Riders of Rohan with me. I did bring the monk who's going to Argus to get Botox, Gemma Banks.
Yes. Yes.
That was last week's joke. You're going to have to get a new one. But
It's still going on, actually. I'm classic for recycling the same jokes, right? But I don't know why you're talking about Botox. Is my face looking droopy? I
it's
need
a little
to
droopy.
tighten the skin up. I notice when I smile, I got lines. Like I don't
But I
know.
think that's normal, but it is a little droopy. I got
Not
bags
for
under
young
my eyes,
guys.
dude, so, I mean,
But
you're
you're
not
a little
worse.
bit older than us. You're not
Wow!
old. You're a little
Fuck
bit older.
you
That
and
was
your
polite
mother.
to
That's
say.
not very nice, Gemma.
Well, thank you for having me on the show again.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
What a jerk. I am a little bit older than you, actually.
just slightly.
Reppin' pepperoni, Jimmy Banks.
But I feel like you're gonna be the going bald type. I don't know if male pattern
yeah.
baldness
It's
runs in
already
your family.
happening.
Oh, is it?
We rock hats on the show for real, for a reason.
Don't feel bad. I have a large forehead in most part because of my receding hairline. So, just is what it is. I just embrace
I'm
it.
surprised you haven't encouraged me not to wear the hat, so yours looks smaller compared to mine.
No, I've completely embraced my big forehead. It's like just a part of me now. It just,
Your hair looks good, though.
well, I mean, not really, but it's a work in progress, guys. I did also bring the paladin who Belle is finally going to allow to go back to priest again on the show because I feel that Rem deserves the priest spot. No offense to Secret. I love Secret, but I feel like Rem has really put in the time and dedication to be able to go back to his priest. So we're going to make that awkward transition over the next couple of episodes, which requires me to have a lot of things redone. But we are making that happen, so that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I don't feel obligated to play the paladin. I mean, I love my paladin, but because I was the paladin, I felt obligated to put more playtime into it. And all
For
that
sure, for sure. We are down Secret.
Yeah.
Not really sure where he is, and that's okay. We are just going to keep on trucking, guys, because that's what we do, because we're
Yeah, keep on, keep it on.
professionals.
Life's a garden. Dig it.
Yeah, life is a garden, and we can dig it. Thank you for bringing words of encouragement. Rem, you're a solid stand-up individual. Now,
Yeah,
some of you are wondering, wow, she's throwing out compliments all over the place. Why?
She's juiced up.
I've been had a little bit of drink, and the reason I've had a little bit of the drink is because I've had a really, really long day, and I've been doing a lot of stuff from real life to not real life. So I'm exhausted, literally. So I figured the alcohol would mask a little bit of that tiredness and at least entertain you guys, if nothing else. So moving right along. Kulteris armor was removed from the data mine files.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Now, here's the thing that's funny to me. So Icy Veins did cover this, which is where I found out about it. Now, their post, which the post was obviously, to me, reminded me of a little bit of a clickbait because they're making an assumption here. So the armor was removed, and also some of the icons from Throne of Thunder were removed. So basically, their thought process behind it is Blizzard's trying to hide the fact that they took the Kulteris armor out by hiding the, like, burying it under removing icons.
How this stuff was removed, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to need you to not make assumptions because you're sounding like TMZ. So I'm going to need you just to avoid making assumptions because that was really uneducated to put that in an article. But that's okay. I'm not going to down people for that. I'm just saying, like, I really need people to don't take what you read at face value because we don't know. This was an assumption that was made. It's highly possible that this armor was removed because they're adding something different. We have no idea. However, Rem, what does this mean if it was intentional? Like, meaning they're not going to put that armor back in game?
Redesign. I mean, the Kulteris map and the way the armor was fleshed out and it was intentional. But maybe it was a jump of the gun, maybe?
Well, because the original data mine was also, like, the original, I don't know the secret finders that found it. I don't know if they, I don't know where the armor came from when they first found it, like how it was acquired.
I mean, it would make sense for that to be in the game, like, as a file in, like, 7.3.5 or 7.4, whatever patches we're going to.
But not so soon, right? Maybe that was a little too soon.
Yeah.
I think
because I mean it's a fleshed out armor. I mean they've removed like years of work before and rehashed it. But
do you think maybe Blizzard blew their load a little too soon when they put that in there, not realizing that people will stalk you and find out what? I don't know why you two are laughing, you dirty little hamsters.
There's developers that are part of the secret like discords and the secret groups that literally hunt the games for secrets.
How can developers do that? That's like a conflict of interest.
No, I mean, like, they're not going for it, but they're, like, in the groups, and they're, like...
Yeah, they want to know if people are getting close to guessing some of their secrets, but...
Like, go ahead.
Beauty before age, Rem.
But, no, when they first found out about the Riddler's Worm, there's... Mephinus posted on Twitter, was like... Because he's part of the groups, he monitors that and all that. But he was like... Oh, you see those like line of rocks over there? I wonder what those mean. Like trying to like poke fun at people. Like, oh hey, go have fun.
Well, the Throne of Thunder icons being removed, I guess it's icons for the Last Stand of Zandalari achievement. It doesn't really affect me. I don't really care one way or the other. Maybe they're putting stuff in there. I don't.
Last of the Zandalari, which.
I think the red shirt guy, I guess he posted something on Blizz Planet where he compared the removal of leaked Halloween masks related to Worgen and Goblins. And then they talk about Kulteris expansion rumors and begin to intensify. Well, when you say begin to intensify, it was already a thing. And the Jaina key art pretty much proved that. Like, I don't really know that there's a rumor to intensify so much as I think we know where we're going.
We know we are assuming 99% where we're doing. But the intensify just means that it shows that they're trying to cover something up.
What if it just was an accident? Like, what if they weren't trying to cover anything up? What if
they wouldn't remove something like that? And when they know what's going on in the community with us, like analyzing every little piece
maybe
of
they
that.
removed it because they're revamping it. Here's why I'm saying this. I'm Blizzard, okay? You're random. Rem, we're going to roleplay right now. Don't make this weird because it's not that kind of roleplay, Gemma. So before you get excited... So I'm Blizzard, and Rem is random secret finder / evil data miner, right? Because Blizzard doesn't really like data miners. So I accidentally put something in game that I didn't intend to put it in this early in the game. it's been in there for a month and a half, 2 months now.
Yeah.
Why would I randomly right now remove said armor that's already been in there? We've already theory crafted. This has sparked tinfoil hatters in the Nerd of Rem Club. So, as you being secret nerd finder, I just removed this from game. This isn't where we're going. Totally believe me, because I'm removing it after 2 months. Are you buying that? Like, is that how you, or is that really what your thought process is?
No. My thought process would be either A, they're covering up, or they're doing something with the armor and they're fixing it, or they're removing it to put it back in later.
I agree with you on the second part. I do think that they're just fixing it and adding it later. It doesn't make sense to me that they would remove it now. Because if I was Blizzard, I would be like, fuck, we need to remove this right now. Like, ASAP Rocky, we need to get in there and get this out. Cover it up with some other random bullshit we're removing and do that at the same time.
Or even bigger tinfoil hat, it was an intentional
leak.
Yeah.
Right, because all the leaks in the world, including Instagram and Twitter hacks where nudes are posted, I don't really believe that those are hacks. I really believe those are intentional. I don't know if that...
Do you trust this evil data miner, though?
Well, and that's another thing about data mining,
that's
which
I
love data mining, and the reason I love data mining is because it gives us things to talk about on the show, right? Especially when they catch something, like when they got the belt that had the map of Cool Terrace, which, whatever. I love those kind of things because that's interesting to me. But to that end, example, today I'm finishing up my research for the Netherlight Crucible because I finally got it unlocked and I needed to get the video stuff done before they remove it, before they shut down PTR tomorrow. So in going through it, Wowhead did, they data mined the stuff for the Crucible, and it shows all the traits having ranks, which they don't. It showed level tier 1 and in tier 2, it showed those options having ranks, which that's actually not fact at all. So what happened is during the dev Q&A, people were like, what's up with these ranks for tier 1 and tier 2? And the devs are like, it's data mining at its worst. Like that's the reason data mining is not always great, because it's misinterpreted, and unfortunately not everybody looks deeper like we do, and other people who are like read between the lines and who know, like the vets who know what this information means. Yeah, the problem with data mining is, like you said, you have two groups where one person sees the big picture of it and it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be in the game, awesome, whereas we're like, okay, this one makes sense, that's actually could be a thing. Yeah, like people, not everybody knows how to discern between the two. So because of that, this is how bad stuff gets spread around. Misinformation happens. This also causes entire factions to panic. So it's better in the long run to just take it as it is and make sure that when you're seeing your sources, yes, Wowhead is a great source for stuff. Yes, MMO Champion is the other data mining. These are great sources, but just use your brain sometimes and let's not take things for what it's worth. So I am going to call shenanigans. I don't actually think that Blizzard was attempting to cover up the removal of the Cool Terrace armor. I'm actually just going to go out on a limb here and say if they were going to do that, they would have done it a long time ago. They wouldn't do it now when we're getting into crunch time, and I think we're, about 85% sure we're going to get an expansion announcement at BlizzCon, since we didn't get one at Gamescom. So it just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like we're looking for things that aren't there. We're in the bushes looking for random little whatevers, and that just isn't existing. So please stop looking for conspiracy theories where they aren't there.
Oh, we're getting an announcement at BlizzCon for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty much solid in that regard. Like, we can just expect that that's going to be a thing. So, I mean, I'm excited. In my nerddom, I'm super excited. So, to that end, you can go to BlizzPlanet and read the Ian Bates. He's the red shirt guy, by the way. Go read his theory crafting.
I got to meet him last year. Nice guy.
You did? Yeah, we've met him a few times. He's a super nice guy. Like, really, really nice guy. Nicer than even you, Gemma, and you're...
I agree.
You're pretty nice.
Time
Walking is up. What?
Which Time
Kata.
Walking? Sorry, I was excited. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm glad for the excitement. Kata is up this week for Time Walking, so get in there and do that.
Yeah.
Blizzard also tweeted that if you complete your Mythic plus 10, you'll get the, I think it's 935. Let me just confirm.
That's a little bit late.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, 930. You'll receive eye level 930 rewards in this week's Order Hall chest. Now, my assumption is this is moving forward, because if you remember, I originally told you guys that they're not increasing the item level of the gear as intended, especially for the other dungeons, the normal, the heroic, and the mythic. They stated in a QA that they weren't going to do that until the raid was released. They've actually went back on that, and that actually is happening before the raid, which is nice. So I know that I had said that previously. I do apologize. It's not my fault they changed it last minute, but yeah, the 24th they tweeted. But I don't know if it's like forever. I tried to get somebody to explain to me if it was forever. I don't really know. Forever, ever. So by the time you guys watch this, it's really too late. I apologize. We just have bad RNG for show day and stuff. We really got to learn to, like, I really wish I could change the day we record, but I'm so set in my ways with recording day that I just...
it's like you could hear our secret conversations in Zoom, or you had this conversation with Rem, because we were discussing that the other day.
There are times when I really wish, like, it would be great to have the show come out a couple days before a Tuesday for news purposes, reset purposes, and stuff like that. It's just, we'll leave that open for, interpretation another day.
Can you hear us when we're in Zoom and you're not there?
I mean, I'm hoping that that'll answer itself, because if I'm not there, obviously I can't hear you.
I feel like you're always there.
No, it's something I've thought about, because I was talking earlier. I was really, really tired, and my kid said, "Mom, why do you record on Monday?" And I'm like, because I can't do it on the weekends, because I made a promise to my husband that we wouldn't do weekends. And then during the week, I just it was recorded because of other cast having issues, so it might be time where we could maybe discuss a different day of the week for that type of recording. So
I want to say live on our pre-recorded show that's live right now, Tuesday could be a decent day. I'm not saying we have to.
No, Tuesday would be the opposite of good day, because then people would not, we want them to get the information, like it would have to be like a Thursday.
Oh, okay. I thought most of the good stuff happens like Tuesday morning usually, or Tuesday during the day.
There are some things that they need to know about before the reset. So we would want them to know before reset. So we'll get back to you guys on that. Don't worry, I'll make sure you have an episode every week. You'll never miss it. We'll discuss that internally. Huh?
Rem, you have the floor. What were you saying?
What did you?
Because Sunday gives them time to read about it on Monday.
Yeah, no, we're never going to do the show on the weekends. I gave my word, and
yeah, we got foosball on Sunday.
Jimmo will tell you that I gave my word, and I don't want to. I don't want to do the show on the weekends either, because I actually like doing other stuff on the weekends and not recording the show. So
I have an idea. We can do it Sunday, 7 a.m. That way, we have the whole rest of the day.
Yeah, no, we're not.
7 a.m. East Coast or West Coast?
In due time, it gets a little better for all parties involved when the time change happens, I think. I don't really know. But we'll talk about that when we're not taking up people's time discussing our internal arguments over show recordings. Guys, that should have been pre-show talk, but we were all three preoccupied
we're going to make it a vote, guys. I'm going to make a straw poll. I'll give you a goal.
I hate you. So obviously the patch is happening, guys. We are going in hot. Some of you might be going in dry if you haven't done a lot of research on the patch. That's not for me to judge, guys.
That's not fun for anyone.
I know it really isn't fun for anyone, but if that's the kind of thing you like, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to walk you through the process and make sure that everything comes out A-okay.
I'm scared because I never do research, so technically, continue. I don't want to.
So with that, I want to talk about what's happening this week. It's important to know what is opening this week so that you don't think, hey, why am I not getting all the stuffs right away? Obviously, they're gating content. It's actually not being gated too terribly. They're doing a really good job with the gating. So for this week, what you're going to do is obviously you're going to Argus. You're going to unlock the Vindicar, which is going to be the first thing that you're going to do when you get there. Work on the Vindicar stuff. I also want to let you know that on the Vindicar, your vendors and your relinquished vendor, which that's not going to be the relinquished gear anymore. I forget what it's called, but you buy that with the
Argonites.
Yeah,
you got to find Archer.
Although I was calling it Gorgonites the entire time we were leveling instead of Argonites, because the brain. I'm a little smart there. There's also your profession vendors are going to be on the Vindicar, which is really, really nice. So I like that. There's going to be a portal to the Vindicar that's going to be on Krause's Landing once you do your thing and go where you need to go. So you will be able to use that. I actually set my Hearthstone to the Vindicar so that I didn't have to, no matter where I was, I could just go, back to it straight away without a big deal. You're also going to be unlocking the various teleportation beacons throughout the zones that are open to you. And then as you progress, you'll unlock more beacons. So it's nice. You don't have to worry about flying. It's going to be a fly-free zone. Once you're on Argus, you're going to understand why there's not going to be any flying. There's a literal chunk of the planet missing. Pure gravitational, gravity is just going to make it where I don't know how anyone could fly, really, because there's
But how does it work?
Yeah, Gemma, how does gravity work?
It's intense.
Just like camping. Mm-hmm.
Just like Wi-Fi and a microwave.
Boom.
That was a good one. So you'll unlock those teleportation beacons. Now, I wanted to share with you guys a story. And I don't really mean a story. I just mean lessons learned. When you're running around on Argus, there was a time when there was this giant-ass Fell Reaver, right? There's things that are on Argus that are not normal. There's 2 giant gorehounds also that have a bajillion health that are chasing each other when you're doing one of the sets of quests. I want to say in Macquarie, I might be wrong, but they're ginormous and they're very scary. It was not Macquarie. It was actually in
Are gorehounds scarier?
Yeah, they're the ugly, remember I said it looked like it was the ugly mount where it looked like the goat was having sex with the sheep,
right.
that. So there's 2 giant ones. These things are huge, and when you run, when you're running, you have to run past them to do a specific quest where you have to shoot the little ships out of the air.
I guess I'm not doing that.
They're very scary. I ran under one and was terrified the entire time that I was going to pull it. I want to let you know that you can aggro these things. The Fell Reaver, it's the same thing as when you were on Hellfire.
Yeah.
They're aggroable. So if you don't tread with caution, you gonna die. So
I like that there's something that will just destroy you.
There's lots of those little things around. So just make sure that, one, you go with a buddy. So make sure you have a buddy, because buddy system is how people not just survive, but maybe get a resurrection if you happen to have a healer that's your buddy. So I typically roll with Rem because healer most of the time when we're doing stuff, he will do heals. So go with a buddy and tell somebody that you're going to go do stuff so that they're aware, so they can go find your dead body when you accidentally aggro one of those things and they know why you didn't come home that night, because it's pretty epic. But like Gemma said, I did appreciate that just little extra stuff. It's nice to be afraid of something where when me and Rem first started doing stuff, we ran right into the butt of one of the Reavers and we were like, yeah, maybe we should just hide by these rocks right here, like the hobbits were hiding when they went to Mordor, because it was really, really scary. So, yeah. With that being said, the new class hall missions are going to be opening as well. Now, remember, there's going to be specific Argus-only missions that are going to require a special trait. Those traits you can only get by purchasing the troops with the Order Hall resources, which I had talked about that in a previous episode. It was also in my 8 Things to Do guide. So you'll naturally go through that because it's a quest that'll take you there. So you don't have to worry about necessarily looking for the gentleman that sells them, but because they'll naturally take you through that. But just remember, if you're trying to complete an Argus mission and you can't figure out why it's showing negative 25% when you have all 3 spots filled, it'll only work when you have those special troops. So
makes sense.
I can tell you that there's going to be people, and I would be one of them, that would be like, why isn't it working? But that's the reason why. Crokun and Antoran Waste is going to be opening up for the first sets of stuff. I think you start off on Crokun, and then after some questing, you go to Antoran Waste. You'll also unlock the teleportation beacons in those zones, and the world quests for those will also open up, including the petrified forests. Yeah, the petrified forest world quests. Those open up as you do questing there. Certain quests will say, okay, you've opened up this set of world quests, which is really, really nice. The 2 new factions that are coming in Argus, which is going to be Argusian Argosian Reach. I think I'm still saying that correctly. Rem, right, wrong, yes, good.
I mean, Argosian, Argussion, it's all the same thing.
Well, Argrussian, there's no R, so that would be invalid.
I said Argussion.
Don't try to correct it now. We heard you.
Said
This is going to live on the internet forever, Rem.
You're a little bit of aggression, okay? Calm down.
How dare you speak such truth? And then the Army of the Light, those two factions will be dropped into the emissary rotation, which is nice. That'll help with you getting your rep. So it's unlike Broken Shore, where the Legion Fall crap was not dropped into the emissaries, which was really annoying. So that'll be right away. This will make it easier for you to get exalted, because most of the stuff that's fun is exalted, including the new rune for Army of the Light. So that's going to be the stuff that's open for week 1. And then next week I'll go over what's open for week 2. There's no point in me telling you about stuff that is completely irrelevant this week, because it's not important. So, yeah.
So by watching the show, that's the same as me doing research, right?
Yes,
so
you're
going in, right?
You're basically doing research, and I'm proud of you for watching.
And all of you listening as well, we're proud of you. This is where I used to get my news. Some of you get your news here as well. Enjoy. More news? Sorry, continue.
No, that's pretty much it. We actually didn't have a whole lot of news, which is typical. It's patch time. They figured they gave us patch notes. That's all the news we need, which makes a lot of sense. Like, that's totally okay. So, yeah. Now, I want you guys to know I've actually already done it. I just need to send it over to have it edited. Sometime next week, my Netherlight Crucible guide is going to be posted up on Methods YouTube. I'm actually quite proud of that guide because I think it simplifies. I watched some videos of people that did the Netherlight Crucible guides, and it's super confusing. So I'm excited because I simplified it in the most easy to understand and follow manner.
That's good.
Well, it's confusing if you don't understand it. So that'll be coming out next week. I'm pretty happy about that one. But
did you guys check? Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. What?
I was just wondering if you checked out, do you have any of your class's abilities being changed? Or I saw there's some new abilities. I didn't really look into it, but it seems like on the patch there'll be some
I haven't even looked at the class changes, to be perfectly honest with you, and I really should have done that because that's important.
You're probably secretly worried you'll get nerfed, right?
Well, I'm not going to lie. So what happened is I've been dealing with my keybind situation. So I have I call it my sidecar, right? It's my sidecar. I know that's not what it's called. It's called a gamepad. Now, it's an older gamepad. I've had it for like 5 years now. It finally started to take a crap. So, there's only two people that make solid gamepads that I would trust enough to purchase. Razer, unfortunately, which I don't trust enough to purchase, but my husband has the Tartarus. And then there's the Logitech, which got bad reviews for the ergonomics, right? And I already have problems with my, what is this called, Rem? Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
So I did have to do what I hate, and I bought a Razer Tartarus because my rotation, I can't only do part of my rotation because part of my rotation's on my mouse and the other half is on my gamepad. So I got it today. And it's a little bit of adjustment. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I've been stressed out all week because when I try to raid, like my keybinds I'm trying to get used to trying to do my whole rotation on my mouse like Rem does. I'm just not built to do my whole rotation on my mouse. Like, me and Rem argue about this legit every day. Why don't you just put all your buttons and do everything on your mouse? Because I'm not built to just play with one hand like that. That's not the way that I'm
sounds
built.
like the sidecar is like your sidekick.
I use Control and Shift as well. Okay.
I like to have half I do my defensives on my mouse, and I do the bulk of my rotation on my little sidecar. So.
Okay, Jimmy Banks. She says she's not coordinated. I can't even talk. Coordinated enough to use it just the mouse, but
it's too much for one hand. Because I'm smarter than you, I can use both hands. I'm not saying that you're dumb. I'm saying I'm smarter.
Well, Rem and I were discussing it. It's not. I mean, the sidecar works for you, but do you use any of your 1, 2, 3, or 5 for for moves ever?
I use my 1 through my equal sign. All those macros.
Yeah, so I'll quit up until 6 because I feel like it's too much of a stretch. So I'll use Q, E, R, T, Y, and F, G, H for certain abilities. But
my defensives have always been on my mouse because before I got the Schmurter. What is it? The Schmurter?
Scimitar.
Scimitar. Before I got the Corsair with all the buttons, my mouse only had 3 buttons. So I've gotten used to having 3 of my defensive abilities on my mouse. So I still use those. I have my whole rotation on my mouse. I just don't use it. So Rem has been talking crap to me, guys. Here's the thing about gameplay.
Well, he put it. Sorry to interrupt. What he was really saying is, when him and I were discussing, is he really wanted to help you, and he wasn't trying. He was just asking questions like for some Bell's homework, right? So
no,
he
made me feel like shit because I was playing because I didn't want to do my entire rotation on my mouse. He made me feel like crap. Here's the thing.
No, the thing was, I went through the same thing when I first got these.
But I'm not you. I like the way that I play. I have no desire to change the way that I play.
What if you could make it faster? I'm not saying that
I
it
don't
will,
want to be faster. I want to be
What?
happy, and I'm happy. I like the way that I play. If I want to use my gamepad and use my mouse for my keybinds, guess what? I can, because nobody's the fucking boss of me. You want to know why nobody's the fucking boss of me? You want to know why you're not the boss of me, Daddy Rem? Because you don't pay my bills, you don't feed me, you don't sleep with me.
He was just
Those
trying to
3
ask
things
for
make
some
you
Bell's
not the boss
homework.
of me. Not the boss.
I just feel bad that you're wasting all those 12 keys.
I'm not wasting anything. I'm using part of them and I'm using the other half. I like playing with both hands. I enjoy it. At least I'm not a clicker for my whole rotation. I know some of those people. There are several in my guild that are clickers, and I'm like, how are you even alive?
Right.
But who am I to tell anybody? So yes, much to Rem's dismay. However, I am working on using more buttons on my mouse.
Just slow and steady. That's what we were talking about. I don't think you have to do this massive overhaul, but yeah, if you slowly start adjusting or adding some buttons.
I just prefer to spend an hour or two just full into the wall.
I love my life, and my life does not revolve around learning stuff.
It wasn't like he said your life decisions are terrible and you're screwing up. But I don't have my whole rotation on my mouse.
You were not there for the other conversations where he basically makes you feel like you're a jerk off because you're not doing it the way that he thinks you should do it.
That sometimes.
He only is nice in front of people because he doesn't want anybody to be judgy. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Rem that you guys know, it's a facade, guys. This Rem doesn't exist. The real Rem's a dick, guys. The real Rem is a dick.
Maybe every Rem is a facade.
But anyway, he was trying to help me, and when my sidecar, I don't know why I call it my sidecar, but when it broke, I was having a literal meltdown on Facebook, and I was messaging him I'm pretty sure it was during his work day, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, like, everything is going wrong. I've had this thing for 5 years, it's the only way I know how to play. And then he's like, well, just use your keyboard. My keyboard is mechanical. I can't hear all that click, 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 click. Like, I just can't. It's just not.
Oh, the sounds of it.
So, I did buy this, which it's not terrible. This adjusts, so it's not awful. We'll see how quickly it breaks, because in my house, Razer products don't last. So,
well, in Razer's defense, the Tataris is actually really good quality. Like, it's
Steven's had his for almost 4 years now, and it's the original generation. Like, his lighting, he doesn't have the color version. It's just green. Like, he can't even change the colors on his. But his has lasted, and he uses his for everything. So
yeah. By the way, also it's really good at holding Titans. I heard.
Oh.
And I figured this. I know Corsair has got to be working on a gamepad. There's no way that...
I'm surprised they haven't.
Like, they really... Corsair, if you're listening, if anybody at Corsair is listening, if you guys want to email Corsair and say, why haven't you fucking invented a gamepad yet?
Aren't they like flip phones, though? People just don't use them anymore? People are onto the smartphones?
That's actually quite the opposite. But the cool thing about that is when Corsair does come out with one, I can get a Corsair one and give this one to the husband to upgrade him, since he doesn't have the fancy version. But yeah, his has lasted forever. His headphones, though,
everything has to be RGB. Okay.
Yeah, his headphones broke. We've went through several pairs of Razer headphones in this house.
Really?
Yeah, it's just shit quality. And I'm some of you will be like, "Well, I've had Razer forever," and that's great. Kudos to you, like Bully. That's awesome. But in this house, we are where I'm trying to slowly convert my husband away from Razer, but he really likes it. But peripherals are just like game styles. It's all according to what people like, and you can't tell people what to fucking do, Rem. I'm not bitter, guys. He made me a little bitter, but I'm not bitter. So
You guys do it to each other.
I only allowed that little tirade of unimportant banter because we don't really have a lot to cover this episode, so we had to fill it somehow. If you're new to
Well, I was
Podcast and
gonna
you're
ask
wondering
him.
why is this bitch ranting on about sidecars in gamepads, that's why, because we don't have a
Well,
lot
at
of
least
stuff.
it's Warcraft and it's game related, right? I'm sure other people listening are either questioning how they're playing or
Yeah.
they've got it down even better. and
Now,
they're making
everybody
comments
that doesn't
saying,
use their
"Do
mouse
this."
buttons, Rem has single-handedly basically insulted.
Mission accomplished.
uh, the
But
That's
it's
not bad.
like
We've offended
the-
worse.
We have a whole list of
Referrals, yeah.
people and sections, people and factions
Yes,
and
We were just about to
races
get a
and-
Razer dealership or sponsorship, and you fucked that up, Belle.
I
Thanks.
know it's tough to tell people you
While
like
we're
stuff.
at it,
So
fuck Alienware.
I use Razer mouses, Razer. Hook it up. Mises.
I wouldn't slap Rem with a Razer mouse. That's how much I don't like their equipment.
What? I would.
But I'm honestly quite partial to my keyboard and my mouse for Corsair.
No.
Obviously, the mouse would break. So
Corsair is one of those things where it's like once you try it, it's really difficult to go back to other products, in my opinion. But as long as you love what you like, that's okay. There are lots of people who stand by Razer and their garbage, and that's okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that didn't have a gaming mouse for the longest time. I just used the one that came with my computer.
You did? You used the basic one?
Right? I got this probably 3-4 years ago, and it's lasted, and it made me such a better
Oh, that's
healer. Like
good.
I've got heals on deck.
Also,
but-
there's another. That's kind of the caveat too. The older Razer products last forever. Like Rem was saying, the Tartarus. My husband has the original version when it first came out, and it's lasted this whole time. The same thing for the mouse
Dang.
he has. So anything we had purchased, I want to say within like the last 2 years. I don't know if it's their quality. Rem has a theory, I think.
it's the big problem is they got popular because their quality used to be so good that they couldn't keep up. So they probably chimped out on some stuff. Honestly,
I think we can agree that that's they had.
I don't agree with any of that Razer. I'll still take that mouse. Thank you.
They mass produce, so I think that's what happens when that SteelSeries also used to be amazing quality. Now look at the shit show. Like, it's
there's another potential sponsor.
yeah. We were never gonna get SteelSeries doesn't sponsor many people, but I am trying to get that Corsair sponsorship. But only Bajir is cool enough to get that. Nobody cares about me. So, which I should. I force.
We should. I
basically-
hate Razer products. Let's crosshair all the way.
I force people against their will to buy Corsair. So, like,
Corsair, not Crosshair.
did I say Crosshair?
No,
Oh, okay, I was gonna
I
say
did
because
not.
you gotta keep Corsair in your crosshairs. Though.
damn it.
Good
Moving
product.
on. That is all the news, and I swear we're done with the random banter. This is what happens when Belle drinks prior to the show and during the show, because I've had refill during Jimma's segment. So, with that being said, I heard a story about, I think it was the 26th was National Dog Day,
National
right?
Dog Day. Thanks for the update, Blizzard and World of Warcraft. I saw the tweet, so I thought, why don't I do a segment about my dogs? And this is for
raise
my
the
dogs.
roof.
Raise the roof. Whoop whoop. But before we get into my dogs, the Pep Battle bonus event is over, right? Sad face. It's now time walking. I did forget to mention last week, because I found out at the previous Pep Battle bonus event, you can actually finish that weekly quest on multiple tunes now. So it's the 5 PvP Pep Battles, and you can do that on alt. So you can just get, if you are good or learning PvP Pep Battles, you get a chance for more stones that instantly give you level 25 pets. So I did also find out pre-show I was able to do that weekly quest on my druid I'm leveling. It was only level 103. So not only, that's great in my opinion. So cool, right? Now, also during the Pet Battle bonus event, I did some leveling of pets. I've admitted in the past segments and past events, I really haven't been leveling pets at all. I level them here and there, but a lot of times our players make efforts to power level a lot of pets, right? I only have 454 maxed out pets out of my 834. And I know to a lot of you listening, that's way more than you have. But I've been chirped by actual pet battle collectors, right? Whether they have a better or a higher number of unique pets or just way more max level pets. I've never made it a huge priority of mine. But just a couple honorable mentions. I did start leveling my Sun Darter hatchling, which was awesome. I can't wait to do some PvP pet battles or test that. And then the 2 new dragons from the Chromie scenario, the Ageless Bronze Drake and the Bronze Protowhelp, they fluctuate in the auction house, right? I'm excited to see how those dragons battle, but on my alt server now, which used to be my main server, my Horde server, BlackRock, there wasn't really many of them on the auction house. And I went on Argent Dawn to kind of get an idea of the pricing. And the Ageless Bronze Drake, there was 3 of them for 9K gold, and there was 1 Bronze Protowhelp for 5K gold. So I bought that, and I'm going to give it away to someone who leaves a comment in the comments, obviously. Of course, it's only US servers. We don't, I can't trade pets with EU users, so I apologize, but we've made you a part of our previous giveaways. So just kind of to say woot woot for those 2 pets, and I'm excited to try them out at max level now that they are max level. And then the Wormy Tunkins, whatever that is, it just looks really cool. I love the way it looks. It's from, I guess, the weekly archaeology quest.
The worm tongue?
Worm, it's WYRMY Tunkins.
Oh, I don't know then.
Wormy.
I barely
Wormy,
speak regular
Wormy.
English, let alone World of Warcraft
Oh,
English.
it's tough, these pet battle names. So I just brought those up because I leveled them specifically because they were newer pets, and I want to pet battle with them. I want to test out their abilities. So very cool. And Belle did mention National Dog Day. So we've got some dogs to show.
Hold on,
Go
I
ahead.
have to interrupt you. So what do you want people to comment, and when are you stopping the comments for the giveaway?
Oh, excuse me. You'll have right up until next week's show. So I guess, Monday. Any comments leading up until...
You're just going to randomly pick a person?
I'll just randomly pick a person.
And you want them to comment what? Comment
anything. Jimma's the best. We love Jimma. Pets. I hate pets. Pets are for Jimmas.
So
Whatever
you want them to comment something pet battle related. That's going to be their tell.
If you watch our show and you leave a comment, I'll include you and try to...
Oh, everybody got it. Okay.
Yeah. You don't even have to like pets. You can just have it for your collection.
I'll double your chances if you tell me I'm pretty.
Right? 2 entries for telling Belle she's pretty.
I'm vain, guys.
lies.
The vanity is real. I don't need anybody. I promise you. Like, I'm
Posting lies is a sin.
Oh,
son of a bitch. And now back to you, Jimma, for the
Sumama.
National
You
Dog
sumama.
Day.
National Dog Day. Who let the dogs out? Everyone let their dogs out because they had to go to the
Do you know
washroom.
what that song's really about?
Do you?
We'll talk about that
I
after
don't,
the show.
but I
I
actually
barely
hated
found
that
out the
song.
real meaning of that
Oh,
song, and
really?
it blew fucking mind. Anyway, go ahead.
I have an idea, but I actually hated that song when it came out. I'm ashamed I quoted it. But of course, Blizzard in the tweet had a bunch of rolling images of dogs. And I love dogs. I'm a dog person, nothing against cats. But in honor of these dogs, we'll show some pets and just I'll briefly discuss them. And the first one we'll start off is the Corgi pup. Now, this was brought out, I believe, in November. This was the 12th anniversary. And you bought it with no, it was not the 12th anniversary. Yeah, it was.
I thought the Molten Corgi was the 12th anniversary.
So that was the 10th anniversary.
Oh, okay, got it.
I like that you care enough about pets to have an opinion. I like that. So the 10th anniversary was the Molten Corgi, but after that was the 12th anniversary, the Corgi pup. I was actually looking to see if you can still get it. I assume you can. I'm wondering. I couldn't really find an actual answer on that. Again, it was 200 Time Warp badges or that currency, and I have a feeling you can buy it every time walking event, but I don't know that. Maybe it was exclusive to that anniversary. So I'll find out and I'll let you guys know next show. The Molten Corgi was the 10th anniversary pet, which was awesome because at the time it was the first Corgi and it just was actually a really good pet. It's good for PvP pet battles. It's fast. It has some fire or some elemental abilities, which is really cool. So Molten Corgi is really good. And then we have Grumpy. And I actually didn't know where Grumpy was from. I kind of grouped it in with all those different pets you can buy for getting rep with different factions, but I found out it was a quest Again, must not have done that quest, and I just bought it off the auction house. A quest from Val Shara, so some of you probably just have it naturally from leveling. Maybe one of my favorites or best looking, maybe because it's unique, is the Alterac Brew Pup. One of my favorites from the Blizzard store. Not the best for pet battles. I almost wish Blizzard would go back and kind of realign some of the stats, because this pet could be a little better if it hit harder. I know you got to be careful when you're mixing and matching stats. You don't want to add things that are overpowered, but I think it's time where you can, adjust some of the stats. Some of the cool abilities from the Alterac Brew Pup in the second slot is the good stuff, which heals your team. It's like an AoE team. And tough and cuddly, which will just reduce your damage taken by 50%. It's the exact same ability as crouch. And then in the third slot, you've got call the pack, which just increases your damage by 100%, and it gives you an opportunity to hit harder. So very neat. Emergency giveaway. It's not really an emergency, but the Frostwolf Ghost Pup is an awesome undead pet from archaeology. And because I've bought and sold so many of them, I'll also give away one of those for anyone who's leaving a comment. So again, we'll just contact you or announce it next show, giving away the bronze proto-whelp and a Frostwolf Ghost Pup. And I really did make a lot of gold off these. I used to buy them for about 800 to 1,000 gold, and I would resell them for 3,000 gold. So they do fluctuate at times. And finally, the one pup that I don't have, the Fell Pup. Let me just take a moment here to have a sip of my Pepsi. No, I'm not promoting. I should have got water. I actually hate pop now, guys. So get that water into you.
We don't like soda?
Soda pap. The Fell Pup is a pet I don't have because I always plan on making a video for it. You can actually get that in the Tannin jungle, or is it the Tanan? I remember one time I got
Tanaan.
Tanaan.
It's the Tanan jungle.
Tanan. I remember I said it Tanan, and you guys kind of roasted me for it. It was pretty funny.
No, you didn't say Tanan. You said Tanan.
Tannin. That is what I used to say. Yeah,
you didn't say Tanan. You said Tanan.
I really did. I was real hard on my A's there. But yeah, the Fell Pup just looks like the other corgis, but it's felly. It's got that fell color, and it's just a quest in the Tanan jungle. But overall, a nice list of dogs. I mean, I'd list the cats one episode, but we'll be here forever. We don't have an hour segment for all the cats.
There's a lot of cats.
It's too many.
Really quick before I lose it, Zimmer Banks just said he's hard on his A's as a Canadian. Like,
hey, big fan of Fonzie too, right?
Pretty sure he was Canadian. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't, but Jim, I do want to let you know that it was those vendors that sell the corgi are only it was only during the 12th anniversary event did they appear, so you cannot purchase that pup.
I like that.
Unless something has changed, I'm sure someone will correct me. But
please correct us, because when I looked pre-show, I also really didn't get any information. It seemed like it was only for the 12th anniversary, excuse me. The Molten Corgi for sure was like, here's your pet, you don't get it. Similar to all the other ones, actually. So that does make sense. It's funny that they charged us Time Warp badges.
The two historians only appear during the anniversary.
Right.
So they were set to only appear during the 12th anniversary. So you can't go to a time warped vendor for any of the other like Cataclysm or Lich King or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, you can't.
Right. That makes sense. And for those of you that are upset, you should have listened to us. We had a segment where we told you to go get it. And if you weren't listening to us back then, shame on you. Continue watching us, please. But thank you for joining me for my segment about my dogs. And maybe we'll show off some of the cooler looking pets, or we'll bring you something nice next week.
And in unrelated news, if you want to know the meaning of the song Who Let the Dogs Out, Google it, guys, because you will just find yourself in a whole different state of mind from when
something dirty, right?
Well, no, it is funny, actually. I have humor in that, but I won't say it on the show because other people might get offended by my humor or whatever. But it is essentially about never mind.
So you're finding it funny. So if people
I find it humorous because it's funny.
They know you support the joke.
I'm not on the list of people who tell I'm not. There's a certain. Never mind. I'm going to get into the realm of offending people, and we're just not going to do it. So just Google, or if you want to banter about it on the YouTube channel via the comments, I'm more than happy to tell you what it means. But I want to avoid. I don't really care about offending people. In truth, I really don't give a shit. But I I just need to keep it semi-professional.
She's changed ever since she started working with Method, eh, guys?
I promise I have not.
I'm just joking. 100%.
Now I just drink, so I don't know if that's an indication that things are going well. But now I'm just going
Been
to
a
turn
busy
into an alcoholic.
Monday.
So the lore guy that knows everything and nothing at the same time, Rem, what the are we talking about today, sir?
Warcraft. So, talking about Warcraft. As you may or may not know, we are going to Argus. Obviously, we haven't talked about that much.
You don't say.
I know, it's shocking. I'm absolutely shocked.
Same.
So, I just want to talk about the inhabitants and the stuff that we will be interacting with, and we will be seeing, and a little bit about the zones that are left on Argus. So, some of the stuff that we will see is actually Talbucks and the mana rays that we saw on Draenor and Outland are actually from Argus. So you have you'll be seeing a lot of those, and those can't remember the name of it. The new alien kitty, I'm calling it, but that's native to Argus. That's why they released
The gore death hound or gorehound type thing. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the store pet.
Yeah, the
Mount.
something seeker.
But that's
the
native
Twilight
to,
Seeker.
something like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't really. Anyways, I call it alien kitty, but that's native to Argus, and so you'll see a lot of those running around. And I don't know if they're tameable or not, but that'd be kind of a cool. Flash is on.
I was trying to take a picture of you guys. Awkward.
Anyways, I don't know if it'll be tameable or not, but that'd be kind of a cool thing. Kind of a tidbit on that, not really lore, but there's 2 new tameable pets that will be on Argus as well. So that's pretty cool. And so we have the Broken on Argus. You interact with them on Crocun in what's called Crocul Hovel. And so when I first went in there, I know a little bit about the backstory of the Broken and how they become broken. But at first I was surprised to see them there because it is a homeworld of the Eridar, aka the Draenei, aka the Broken. And so it's kind of curious on who they were beforehand and how they became what they are. So for those who are not aware, the Broken are pretty much devolved Draenei or Iridar. And so the problem with what happens with them is, so you have the Iridar that willingly took in fell energy like Kil'jaeden, Archimonde, and they retained their physical appearance, whereas the Broken are broken down. They have the tentacles growing out of their backs.
But they also kept their color. They're also right? Like they both kept their red color.
Kil'jaeden
he has
turned
parts
red.
that are green, right?
Yeah, he was fell pocked. He had the fell coming out. But Archimonde, for instance, kept his bluish skin, which isn't normal for most Draenei that take in fell energy. Like, for instance, can't remember his name, but Velen's son that we fight on.
Oh, Rakeesh?
Exodar. Yeah, Rakeesh, yes.
Hey, I knew a thing!
But yeah, so he was not really what's the word? He was what is the word? Tortured. My brain. Oh my god, sorry. He was tortured and abused into following the path of the broken of the Burning Legion. And you see that he's extremely fell pocked. He's got the reddish hue to his skin from the fell energy. And the Broken remain the same color, but their faces are not only droopy, but their faces change. They become disconnected from the light. That's the biggest thing about the Broken, is they lose their touch with the light, with the Naru. And that's pretty equivalent to when like, for instance, the Nightborn, when they don't have any connection to arcane energy, they become withered and they become hungry for it. This Broken have the same kind of hunger, for the light because Draenei embody the light. They are one of the chosen of the light and the Naru, and it's almost like losing your purpose in life. And we might we're going to see a lot of stuff added to the Draenei and maybe the Broken with maybe new options of classes, because one of the reasons why the Draenei are able to be shamans is because Farseer Nobundo, if you guys are unaware of him, he is one of the champions for the Shaman Order Hall, but also he was the first Draenei shaman. So when the Draenei first crashed on Draenor, he was consumed by Fel. So the Broken they're not corrupted from the Fel, but the influence of the Fel energy around them kind of degrades them and devolves them. And so they lose their access to the light, like I said. And so that happened to Nobundo, who used to be a Vindicar. He used to be like pretty much what a paladin is for the Draenei. And what he would do is he'd go into a field and pray to the Naru, to the light, to everything, to anything that would listen, and pray for salvation, for an answer to anything. And so what happened was the elements on Draenor actually spoke to him, and he was taught and learned how to become a shaman, which was, like I said, he was the first Draenei shaman ever. And so he brought that to Velen and will allow all the any shamans that were willing to learn about that. And so what we're seeing on Argus is we're seeing Broken that are, I haven't looked at it or witnessed it yet, but Broken are able to be warlocks. They're able to use Fel energy and cast chaos bolts, shit like that. So I'm speculating that we may be able to see Draenei utilizing that, because we have seen Broken joining the ranks with Velen on the Exodar. And so we could see them maybe being more willing to utilize Fel energy, maybe. Because, I mean, if Velen can kind of forgive Kil'jaeden for the thousands of years of hardship, I'm pretty sure he's willing to do anything to take on the Void.
Hold on. What you're suggesting here is the same mistake every person in power makes where they think they control it. Let's take it back to Lord of the Rings. Isildur really thought that he could control the ring. What ended up happening is the ring controlled him, and now he did. So what you're suggesting seems to me like a little bit like it sounds a little bit like you're a heretic.
I mean, heresy is all a point of view.
But you're not really suggesting that they would try to wield the power of the Fel to...
No, I'm saying that they'd be more willing because the Broken are there and they have utilized...
Well, hookers are willing too if you have enough money, Rem. I mean, I don't really know that...
That's what I'm saying. It's all a point of view.
Sorry.
But I'm not saying, like, that's why my speculations become of sub-races where the Broken could possibly be the Warlocks utilizing Fel. But obviously, Draenei... You'd have to be a Sagirai to be able to do that. But yeah. So
Nice.
So you'll be meeting someone called Chieftain Hatun. He is leading the Argusian Reach.
That's the dude that's got the champions, the troops.
Yes.
You purchase the troops from him in your travels. The troops are what you need for the Argus missions on your mission board.
Yeah.
That's the second thing I knew that nobody had to tell me or remind me. I didn't even need to read it. It just was there.
Oh, you're definitely better than Bell 100 episodes ago, for sure.
Oh.
That's a compliment.
But Chieftain wow, you're number one, Jim. Chieftain Hatun is someone you'll interact with. He is, like I said, leading the Kokul, which Kokul in Draenei actually means the Broken Ones. So Kokul Hovel is the Broken Ones Hovel. So there's kind of that. But Chieftain Hatun is leading them, and he was one of the original Draenei during the incursion of the Burning Legion on Argus for the very first time. So what he did is he sacrificed himself to allow Velen and everyone else to GTFO. And you see this interaction develop. I'm not going to tell all about it because it was kind of like not really heartwarming, but it was kind of cool to see, like, after all these years, he remembers exactly who that is, besides the fact that his image is completely changed from where he last saw him. And you see a bit about that when you go to Macquarie. You see flashbacks and stuff like that. But also, so you have the Broken on Argus, but we also have, like I said, the Draenei are one of the chosen, and they are in the army of they are the biggest force in the army of the light because they are some of the survivors of the Burning Legion. Burning Legion survivors join the army of the light, etc., etc. And so they have golden eyes, whereas Draenei have the bluish hue to their eyes because they are one and one with the light. They are running in tandem with the Naru, whereas the Naru are more like safeguarding and helping the Draenei and stuff like that. But so, like, talk really quickly about some of the zones. So you have the Antoran Waste, which is the main hold of the Legion at the moment. That is where the new raid Antorus, the Burning Throne, is, and we'll talk about that. And some of the skyboxes out there is like to die for. You see Azeroth from cliffs and from the mountainsides and all that. It's really like almost shock and awe kind of deal. But like I said, Krokun is going to be where you first go. You have the Krokul Hovel, which is the main part of the Krokul, the Broken, where you'll be doing a lot of your pretty much guerrilla fighting. Macquarie, like I said, is going to be where you're going to have flashbacks. You're going to see a lot about what happened on the actual fight day of Argus, and so that'll be really cool. It actually shows what our Argus originally looked like, and it's beautiful, honestly.
The third chapter, which is on the western part of Macquarie, which I had a chance to complete the other day, obviously it's void in nature with the quests and the ethereal guys. Amazing quest line for chapter 3. I had so much fun visually, and the different types of questing that they have. There's like puzzle solving, interactions where you have to like do certain things. I didn't know you were supposed to be stealth, and you're supposed to be stealth, and I went in ham sandwich and kept getting booted out and couldn't figure it out. But visually, especially where the void is like part of the ground, so when you're walking over it, it makes you feel like you're gonna fall through because it looks like the night sky with stars. Like, it's so the questing for Western Macquarie was actually super fun, which is going to be week 3 when that stuff will be available. I don't know if you got a chance to check out that last part, Ren, but it's super awesome.
No. By the way, I can't recall, but when is the dungeon being released? Isn't it second week or third week, or is it like way after?
I think it's third week. Hold on, I'm not 100% sure actually.
Because that is 100% void, so I'm gonna enjoy informing on that. But yeah, that's
Like, you don't want to do the dungeon?
I do want to talk about
It's going to be pretty awesome. But the zones in general, Macquarie looks very similar to the outskirts of Suramar City. So the very bright pastel colors, the very bright like pink
Vibrant,
hues of the trees, like the purples, the blues, the very vibrant, like not Suramar City, but the surrounding parts of Suramar, like Ambervale and places like that, is kind of like, that's kind of what Macquarie reminded me of when I went there.
Does this blow Suramar out of the way visually?
No, I don't think so. I don't think anything will ever compare to Suramar, but the visual he was talking about of seeing Azeroth from Argus is quite breathtaking.
That's cool. I can't wait to see that, actually, when he said
So,
that.
you know it's better than Suramar, Jimmy Banks?
A lot of locations, but I'm interested to know what
The outhouse and the garrison.
Wow.
Why is that?
But visually, it's very ugly on Argus, right? Like, it's very ugly, but it's meant to be because the planet is being ripped apart by the Legion. But there are parts where you can glimpse and you can see that this might have at one point been a beautiful place.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that anything will ever compare to the way I felt when I first went to Suramar in beta. I don't know that there's ever anything. They're going to really have to outdo it to be able to do that for me. But sitting at the at the tip of the Vindicar and looking up, or even just when you're down, in the random places, or you perch yourself on a cliff and you just look up, especially as the planet's spinning, like Rem pointed out, the maelstrom for me, like just seeing it is just as breathtaking as if you were watching something from space.
This is how I picture you on the cliff with Azeroth behind you.
I was taking selfies of Belle in front of the planet for screenshots.
Whenever you see pictures of the Earth, like from the moon or from like one of the satellites, it's very like reminiscent of that. It's really, really nice.
It felt like it was real life to me. Like I didn't. Oh yeah. At the time we were looking at it, it didn't feel like we were in a video game. Like it was just as beautiful as anything you would see via a telescope, or even just looking at pictures on NASA's website. Like it was just very realistically done. Blizzard did a really
shout out to Blizzard, and
they did a killer job. God. So yeah.
Glad we're not sitting in Draenor anymore, eh?
I didn't mind it. I thought visually a lot of parts were very appealing in Draenor.
Oh no, visually I thought I
am glad to not be there, but visually I didn't I disliked the armor in Draenor, but the armor was supposed to be ugly, I guess, because
it's supposed to be brutal and
rough, and we looked like a bunch of fucking hobos wearing potato sacks. Like Legion armor or Draenor armor was not the business. It was not my favorite of all the armors. And to be fair, haven't really been impressed with a lot of the Legion sets either. That's why I'm using the Black Mage Weave set, because I couldn't really find anything current that my Warlock would look good on. So
that's because you only play Warlock. The Paladin, the Priest, stuff like that is...
But I also don't have that stuff collected because I don't play those ults enough to have that gear set. Like, I think leather's the most understated of all of my collections. I have like 4 leather pieces. It's just...
I'd like to complete some of the raids on Heroic or Mythic to get some of the full sets, actually.
I would like to just take a month and just grind out a ton of old stuff that I never did before, just to have that stuff at my ready. But what are you going to do, guys?
What are you going to do? Play more WoW.
Rem, were you done? I hijacked that, but okay. Just wanted to...
No, the talking was good, so yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Great job.
More lore.
And Gemma, you guys did good today. Good things, good things. And God bless that Vanna White chick for doing your beautiful transitions there.
I'm sure the people appreciate it as well, actually.
Wait, you're transitioning, Gemma Banks? What?
Well, I support you.
I heard transition.
We support you.
It's 2017, whatever.
I did, in my very limited real game time, I was in game all week. But I wasn't in regular WoW all week. I was in PTR. So I don't really have a segment of stuff that I normally have in that regard. I did PvP. I did do the PvP brawl, and I had so much fun. We were on a win streak.
The Alliance did?
Yeah, and I had so much fun. Like, Rem's done nothing but complain about it, but I spent 3 separate days doing those PvP brawls, and I had a blast, absolute blast. The capture the flag, absolute.
Why didn't you guys team up?
Rem is difficult to play PvP with sometimes. If I'm not in the mood to PvP with other people, Rem's grumpy will rub off on me and I'll be grumpy. But if I'm in the mood, then we're good to go. But yeah. And we played at different times too. I played a lot earlier in the...
Sometimes it is nice to just queue solo and try to get some wins.
No, it's not.
I have more fun when I queue solo for some things than when I queue for a group with other things. It really depends. Alliance is having a really good night for like 3 nights in a row. It was just really good. It was funny because him and I were in separate groups doing the same thing, and I was winning and he was not. So sorry, bud. But
4 losses in a row.
But I got my PvP fill because, in case you guys didn't notice, on the Method Twitter this last weekend for Gamescom, I was covering the EU tournament stuff as well as the random Rocket League stuff the last couple days, which I apologize for that. I don't know how to tweet for Rocket League, so I'm learning. But
they have amazing ball controls.
They do, and I did say that only because I heard somebody say that, and I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. I'm going to talk about ball control. So... I now know more things about Rocket League because I watched a couple tournaments. Anyway, not World of Warcraft related.
Oh, expert now. Okay.
The downside of me covering the esports stuff for Method's Twitter is it's fucking 6 a.m. I had to be up. So I didn't like connect the dots when I was like, oh yeah, it's anything World of Warcraft esports related, I'm going to cover. Like, that's automatically going to be my duty. I said duty. So it's like 6 a.m. and one of our esports intern, he's the one that usually takes care of 99% of that stuff. He like Skypes me. He's like, hey, are you up and ready? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's 6 a.m. And he goes, yeah, but it's almost tournament time in Germany. And I'm like, why? So
at least he notified you. Imagine he didn't.
Oh, he I think he was concerned because most of Method's people are not American. They're in not America. So they're like, I have to have a separate world clock on my computer and my phone now because they're CEST time. I don't even know what that means or how to even calculate it. So I just know that when it's 6 a.m. my time, it's 3 p.m. in Germany. That's all I know. So anyway, the good thing about being forced to be awake for these versus watching the VODs, I had so much fun. The only thing that was super awkward was Rich Campbell, man. Dude, get a life. Like, some of his stuff was just borderline embarrassing, but
He's cringe, honestly.
he doesn't bother me too much, but some of the stuff, like, it's just
Like, it just the topics or what he
no,
said?
he's a little weird, but I mean, he's entertaining. I did get a little bit frustrated throughout the tournament. I can't remember. ZQ? Yeah, ZQ. ZQ's very soft-spoken. So I had to, like, put my ear to the computer to hear what he was saying when he was analyzing, because he's their analyzer. And it was, there's a lot of stuff I could have heard, but I didn't. Obviously, Healing Stat, a.k.a. Talby, a.k.a. Adrian, was casting, as well as Venruki and Supatis were casting as well. So the tournament, let me tell you about this tournament. Obviously, it's Method Triforce, which, if you don't know, it's Botar, Fabs, and Swapsy. They recently just picked up, I think his name is Blizco. I'll confirm. Pretty sure his name is Blizco. They just picked him up to round out their fours team. Method played like, and it's not because I'm Method, guys. I just need you to understand, before I started doing anything with Method, like, I was obviously Team Method, but they played so well. I mean, so well. They played so well. Managers put up a little bit of a fight. Like, a lot of these EU teams put up quite a bit of a fight. Free Therapy was one of the really good teams. Enjoy Legion was one of the very good teams. ABC was one of the very good teams. Grimly, surprisingly, I didn't know much about them. They were actually a very, very good team. Anyway, so Saturday, I don't set my alarm. I don't get up. I sleep right through it. So obviously I didn't cover that. And I wake up and everything is like on its axis. I'm seeing all these tweets and I'm like, no, I missed them winning. The one day that it was important for me to be awake, I completely missed it. So Method did take the championship for the regional. So Method are the champions there, and they did secure their spot at BlizzCon for EU. I think it's 4 teams from EU and 4 teams from NA. Now NA's regionals should be, I think, next month. So I'm not sure if it's the 2nd or 3rd week of September, but it should be next month. So that's going to be interesting. Latin America already has a qualifier, already has their team that's qualifying. I don't remember the team off the top of my head. I should, because I just looked at the tweet. But I wanted to share this picture of Botar. So recently, Twitter lost its mind when Botar cut his hair. Who cares? It's a haircut. Why does anybody care? Maybe somebody could forward that message to Fabs, because Fabs looks like a caveman. Like, between his hair and his eyebrows, like, bruh, can we get a makeover here? Anyway, so Botar, for the win, ends up in, I'm not sure whose lap it was. From the sideline, it looks like he was in Fabs' lap, but I wanted to share this picture. So one of, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's actually the one that takes pictures. He was around Gamescom taking pictures. But if you guys just look at Botar's face, he is so serious about this win. Like, his entire face looks like it's just going to pop off.
Yeah, wasn't it a big win, right?
Well, they won the championship. So they won the regionals, basically, which they didn't need to win the regionals in order to be able to secure themselves a spot at BlizzCon, but it just made them look all the better. Because if you guys remember, from Cups 1 through 5, 4 of those 5 Cups, Triforce actually placed first. So almost the entire road to BlizzCon, these guys have been in first place. There was only one cup where they came in. I want to say they placed 4th or 3rd. So this isn't no fly-by-night fancy team, guys. Like, these guys are here to fuck shit up. I'm going to have to also, in this little Bell's Bite segment, I'm going to have to let you guys know that I don't really see, I really think it's going to be Triforce that takes it home this year. I don't really, unless I see something different for the, unless I see something different for the regionals out of Method Reborn, I'm really scared.
Is there the possibility, and maybe this is known, sorry to interrupt you, you know how there's, I mean, they're always changing abilities, damage and stuff. Are we getting updates on our abilities with this new patch?
I'm sure.
Because, like, isn't there the possibility, like, some of these guys' comps could slightly be changed at BlizzCon?
No, because BlizzCon, yes. As of now, the regionals for NA is going to be done in 7.2.5. I don't know about BlizzCon, but this next setup.
Oh, I see. Right.
This next setup, the reason they have to do that is because the EU was done in 7.2.5,
right,
so they're going to have to allow that.
That's interesting.
Now,
but BlizzCon would be different.
BlizzCon may or may not be different. I'm not 100% sure what they plan on doing with that. Because looking into the future, I don't know how many patches there's going to be before BlizzCon. Obviously, we're assuming 7.3.5 is going to drop in November if we're going by the current timetable.
Yeah.
But it is scary, and that does affect it.
What's so interesting, like, since you've been covering these tournaments very intent, or like covering them, excuse me, I've been listening and doing a little bit myself as far as just like research, and it's interesting to hear that you could qualify and your comp is this well, and then at BlizzCon it can be completely different.
Well, and these guys, we're talking, they have 30 comps. I mean, they have lots of comps and counters for any given map, any given setup, especially if the timing is right for their map pick. You know, hopefully it's not a double blind pick. Like, however that works itself out, these guys have secret comps, which who were they playing? I think it was Grimly they were playing. So these guys come out with two fucking demon hunters. Okay, my boys didn't see that shit coming. 2 demon hunters, like 10 seconds, the game was over. 10 seconds. I didn't even have time to tweet the game was started.
Rude.
That's awesome.
So they ditch the double demon hunters. They do some other shit. Method wins the next 2 games. Then they're like, shit, we better bring these double demon hunters back. They bring the double demon hunters back. No. Once my boys have already caught on to the fact that you have double demon hunters in your little toolkit, like, they're going to be ready for you. Obviously, they lost, and Method ended up taking the series entirely. But I had tweeted, like, okay, you're double demon hunters, that worked the first time, but once we see you, like...
Yeah.
But the problem is they did it the very first game. That should have been saved for the 3rd game, or kind of a break in case of emergency, similar to how...
Was that the only game they won, though?
No. Method was winning all weekend.
No, I meant
what
just
comp did they do against the double?
I don't remember. A demon, DK, and all I can remember is Swapsy on the DK. A lot of it's a blur because I've been watching a lot more, like, not even just arenas, like just a lot of esports in general. I don't even know what the fuck PUBG is, and I'm having to learn that. But I want to say that it was Swapsy on his DK. I don't even know.
Yeah, nowadays it seems it just pays off. It's like you gotta know multiple classes. Like, used to be experts on 1 or 2
these
classes.
Guys are the ones that can swap at any whim.
Right.
Like, they're just really skilled on relatively no matter what they play. Botar's their healer, though. Botar's is a very skilled healer. All those guys, really, I'm still learning Blizco. I don't know a lot about him because he's fairly new to the team. But, you know, Botar and Fabs, these guys are... Botar's a 3-time fucking champion. Fabs, I think, is a 2-time, and I want to say Swabsy's been there twice, but there was, like, filler parts in between, so it wasn't back to back.
Team?
They're the Triforce. They're the EU team. So, in closing with that, what I wanted to get back to, you have Method Reborn, Method Synergy, and Method Awakened for NA. That's the 3 teams you're dealing with. Obviously, for the past 3 years, I have been Team Reborn because it's Sea-Doo's team. So I have been Team Reborn, not necessarily for Sea-Doo, really just as the team in general. I just have really liked the team in general. Obviously, I'm an Officer Bean fan, FYI. Synergy is Maldiva's team. He's the Warlock. Obviously, Bell likes Maldiva. That just is what it is. And then you have Awakened, which is Smexon's team. Smexon's a fucking killer warrior and a kick-ass druid. So I know that Awaken and Synergy and know I don't know that they can. I don't know if they can do what it takes against Temple Storm. I'm going to be really honest and go on the record with that. I'm not saying that they're not great. If I see anybody taking this win, honestly, especially as much as I've watched with Triforce, I see Triforce being the ones that take it. Unless Reborn shows me something that I haven't seen. They've done mediocre throughout these qualifier cups. They've been consistent at 4th placement for, I think, 3 of the cups. That's great, but 4th isn't going to win. That's not going to get you where you need to be. However, I've been telling Rem for the past couple months that I think it's possible that maybe they've just been playing on a lower caliber, and they're just going to come out swinging. Like, they're going to be underestimated from day one with them thinking that their fall from grace last year with them being so close to the win. Like, so close. I just don't know. From my unprofessional opinion, I don't know. But if I have to switch it up, and I have to say, not because Triforce won the championship this weekend. I have been watching Triforce play through these cup qualifiers. This team, it just, guys, whether you love Method or you hate Method, these guys are amazing. So Temple Storm's a good team. A lot of these teams are great. So yeah, that's my part of a segment, is I wanted to talk about the PvP stuff that happened this weekend at Gamescom.
Can we backtrack a minute where you said my unprofessional opinion is I don't know?
Meaning, I don't know. I don't know if my original pick is, I don't know what they're doing, guys. I'm not saying I'm losing faith. And you would think since I'm in the organization now that I would know, right? That I would be in the know. Unfortunately, those things are not privy for Method lackeys such as myself. So Synergy and Awakened are going to give Reborn a run for their money. Like, I'm not going to say they're as good. Like I said, Reborn's gameplay throughout the Cup qualifiers with their consistent placement at 4th does not tell me that this is a championship team. This doesn't tell me that this is a championship team that's going to win the BlizzCon finals. This is not even the same team that I recognize from last year where they actually made it to the very final game. Like, I don't see that here now. So maybe they're pacing themselves. Maybe, I don't really know what's going on, but I hold out hope that we're going to see the side of Reborn that I'm used to. Like, I want to see what I saw last year. Just throwing that out there, guys.
In my unprofessional opinion.
Well, because everybody's like, oh, Belle has opinions and she's not a pro. I don't need to be a fucking pro to know what's good gameplay.
Is that a blanket statement then? Just so they just leave
I just
you
want
alone?
people to know, like, I don't have to be a rank 1 warlock to know good PvP when I see it. I know what's good. I don't have to be, like, I watch it enough.
You're a sports fan that likes sports and play little sports. You're not that
Gemma,
good at
you
it.
love whatever it is the fuck you love, and
We
you're
had a
not good
fantasy
at it, I'm
football
sure.
draft last night. Are we going to talk about that? Do I have time?
We're not gonna talk.
But by the way, Gemma, the multi-classing thing is actually kind of new. When someone said a character's name or some player's name, you're like, oh, he's the rogue. Like, he is the rogue. Whereas now it's like, he's the rogue, he's also the druid, now he's also the warrior.
Like, Smexon used to be on his druid most of the time, 99% of the time, and then now we see him more on his warrior. Same thing with Snuts. He used to be warlock in nature most of the time, and when you didn't see him on his warlock, you saw him on his rogue. In recent, we've seen him a lot on his warrior as well. That reminds me.
It's different, very different from 3 years ago.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That reminded me at the end of my Bell's Bite segment, I wanted to talk about warriors. I don't know when they got a buff. I got to tell you what. Now, I was killing rogues. I was killing DKs. Demon hunters I still die to. It's a struggle. If I can kite away and do my business, I'm fine. I was getting my face pummeled. Like, I didn't even stand a fucking chance. Like, I would be in a stun and then I would be dead. I was camped for like the entire battleground by a warrior. He found me no matter where I was, and I was dead in like 2 seconds. I was dead. I'm really, really frustrated by the melee versus clothies. Now, this has been a thing forever, right? Like, this is a good versus evil type of thing. It just is what it is, but it is really bad lately, guys. I don't know if anybody else feels this way that is a clothy or caster. If you feel, especially if you're like a warlock, obviously mages are pretty powerful, so I don't really know that they would complain. But
normally I disagree with you because it's you, but I think you're right. Like a lot of the arena teams, aren't they? Like, of course, you've got casters, but there's a lot of double melee.
Yeah,
From what I
there's
understand.
really a lot of double melee. It's kind of frustrating me, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stronger than melee because that doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense that me as a warlock I should have more strength. And when I say strength, like I'm just more beefier than
Beefy.
than a
But
demon
what's it
hunter or a DK even. Like, I know my role, guys. I'm not saying I want it, but I would just like for once for it to not be like a grown man fighting a preschooler. Like, it's just kind of crappy in my opinion. I just wish it was a little bit more balanced.
Speaking on that, like on the playtime that I did in the battlegrounds, like half of it was slowed, stunned, or silenced.
Yeah,
like,
you spend the whole fucking time in a CC. It's like just a CC train nonstop. Like, where's the actual gameplay?
You want to hear Rem swear, do threes with him because the melee is always going to be on him. Like, he's just that class when in our comp that he has to deal with a melee or two of them glued to him, and his health just kind of.
But not really a secret, but the reason why I like Shadow Priest PvP so much is because I used to watch Talbadar all the time. He used to be the OG Shadow Priest.
Nice.
But yeah,
Back
no,
when
it's
dinosaurs roamed the earth.
yep.
Well, and I don't pay attention to a lot of the tournaments. I mentioned I have lately or more when Bell's tweeting or whatever, but it's funny, all these names that I had no idea who they are, I'm slowly putting faces to the names. That's kind of funny. So I'm slowly picking who I like or whatever.
I'm working my way on memorizing the teams in their roster, like the teams in their roster of players. I want to be that good where I instantly know, okay, this is so-and-so, and this is like, that's really, Method's making me a better player in that regard, like PvP related. I'm in the know because I'm watching what these guys are talking about. I'm watching what these guys are tweeting. I'm seeing what is concerning for them on a PvP level. I even started watching streams. Guys, I hate watching streams. You want to know why I hate watching streams?
Why?
Because they're fucking boring. But I've been watching PvP streams, not because I want to learn to PvP, but so that I can stay on top of what are some of their frustrations. What is it like on a high end? What I know what it's like on a low end PvP because I'm a low end PvPer. But I wanted to tell you, Gemma, that in one of the interviews that they did at Gamescom, one of the developers had talked about them kicking around the idea of a 6v6, which I think we've already kind of like...
Yeah. Encouraged it or hoped that was happening.
We've talked about how we really hope that that's going to be a thing, but they have kicked around a 6v6.
That's amazing.
For Battleground, dude, and arena possibilities. So, yeah.
Interesting. I do miss, I mean, we didn't really do 5v5 as much as I loved 5v5 and say that was one of my favorites. I didn't play it enough for them to want to keep it around. So we'll see if that happens and how that rolls.
For sure. With that,
you know how that rolls is the wrong way.
The wrong way.
To roll to me. Gemma, that's a really old song, Rem. We're showing our age. Gemma, what did you do this week in the world of Warcraft? I seen you a lot this week in WoW. Maybe that was you.
It was me, actually. I felt like I was going to go hard right into the end of the week, and I slowed up the last couple days I've been working, but I have been playing a lot. I wanted to just... I was talking to Rem even while I was just playing my druid and mumbling and yapping so much as I normally do and said, I love WoW. Like, I'm just playing so much WoW right now, but kind of still being that noob, you know, when noobs are... Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, I was leveling up my druid. I got my boomkin, and I thought I'd get my healing weapon by now, but I didn't. I just didn't go... I didn't see the quest for it or whatever. So, yeah, I leveled up my boomkin, and I was wondering... I was dying a lot, kind of, or not. My health was going down fast. I was like, what's going on? So after I dinged another level, I looked at my gear. I had 359 item level gear for the set. So that's just like helm, belt, chest. Because what I used to do instead of paying the transmog when I wanted to do a pet battle video, I would just put on that gear instead of paying to transmog it.
You are so cheap.
So bad. It's like 200 to 300 gold. So what I guess.
Embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
Guys, we don't know him. Like, this ain't my dude.
Right? You got to save money where you can. You don't get the banks without saving. I did. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But eventually, yeah, I quickly started adding pieces to my set, and I was able to do a little better. So Boomkin's okay. I just have to level DPS because I want to heal druid. I miss healing druid, so I did a little bit of hunter stuff. Did some druid or monk stuff. Obviously, got to
progression.
Well, what? What'd you say?
I'll talk to you about it later. Go.
Yeah, please, because you're interrupting my week in WoW, and it's not okay.
I apologize.
No, yeah, I just had a lot of fun just playing all the classes, and I wish I got a little higher on my druid. I'm only 103, but slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, that's all. Just stuff like that. Oh, I mean, pet battle bonus event. I had fun too. I leveled up some pets.
Nice. I have.
Sorry, it's not over yet. I actually was doing PvP pet battles pre-show, and I just hate healing teams. I almost wanted to sound like Belle, where she says tanks don't belong in PvP. I wanted to say healing teams don't belong in PvP.
Because it's like tanking, right? Because they're basically like.
I don't want to do a 15-minute pet battle. Like, I literally was just my Terraclaw hatchling going against his blossoming ancient and his singing sunflower.
Maybe you should get better if you get good.
I tried. I just quit. I'm like, you can have this, bro. It's 15 minutes. So I'll work on getting good, and I'll be interested in hearing about your weeks and wows. How'd they go?
Well, mine went well. I did a lot of pugs, a lot of content. So I pugged normal Tumor Sigaris all the way through to Kill Jaden, because they were like, "Oh, we got to go to bed." And I was like, "No." But anyways, so I've been plugging the normal Tumor Sigaris to collect gear for the Right as Rohan progression team, because I tried out this weekend, and I enjoyed being back in a raid environment, and I got a couple of pieces, pretty cool on the personal loot. But yeah, it was like I said, it was great to be back in the environment of raiding, and even though there isn't much chatter because we're more serious, but it was still fun. And I did like 3 or 4 plus 10 mythics to help others, and so that I could get my chest tomorrow. Pretty excited to open that. And I did a lot of stuff on the alts, and so I haven't had a legendary in like 2 or 3 weeks, because a month ago my playtime was dropping, but I was still getting it on like all the daily stuff down. But so I was grinding mythics, raids, everything the past couple weeks, and
you sound like Softy. It's been 3 weeks and I still don't got a legendary.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what? I'm way
like, it's a legendary. It's supposed to be time in between.
Okay, well, shut up. Anyways.
Love you, Ryan.
So, I still have like the bottom 4, and so what Blizzard did is they gave me a legendary earlier today.
Ooh, today?
They gave me Praedas, the necklace. So I went from the bottom 4 to the bottom 5.
At least it wasn't Suffuse.
Suffuse is actually really good for Shadow Priest.
Do you have it?
Nope.
Oh, I have 4. Like, every one of my alts has a Suffuse. It's really annoying.
All my alts and all my tunes are getting the trinket and stuff like that. I'm just like, no.
Well, do you just keep on trucking? I know that Softy was having really bad luck, and then I think he had a string of some good luck.
Keep on keeping on.
It's whatever's. You just have to pray to the Blizzard gods, and you'll be in their favor.
No, he just has to be nicer about you and your cross thing.
Fit?
Your buttons.
Yeah.
Do I have a cross thing? What's that?
Crosshair. Crosser.
Oh.
He just has to be nicer for the karma gods to help him out. He's not as nice as he says he is.
See, the problem with that was I tried that nice thing, and no.
For what? A day? For the show for an hour and a half?
I'm sufficiently buzzed from my
evening
drinking excursion, so
that's good.
I'm gonna let you both have that one. I'm not even gonna argue. You guys are both amazing. In the morning it'll be different. It always is with women.
Right.
Oh, you see what I did there? It was a double insult, guys. Anyway, it's nice to not know your week in WoW, Rem. Like, some nights I wasn't like in actual game, or I didn't get on in Zoom until later, or there's a couple nights where I just I didn't really feel like just not being social. I got in and did what I need to do and then went to sleep. I just didn't really feel like being on.
Sometimes in relationships you need space, and I'm glad.
Well, me and Rem don't really get space, but I mean He'll be here for a
Warcraft
week.
space.
He'll be here for a week in a couple days. There's not really
Nice.
space in our friendship. But
Get to meet the mom though.
my mother's gonna be in town on Thursday, and yay!
The microwave clean.
Yes, I've been cleaning for 2 days, and I still have more to go, actually. So my weekend WoW, I didn't spend too much of it in actual WoW. I did spend the good portion of it in PTR because, like I said, I needed to unlock the Netherlight Crucible so that I could get my video recordings done for my guide. Now, what I did find is, I want to say, I don't know what my knowledge level is, because it's on the global bonus, right? So when everything resets, or when the patch happens on Tuesday, we're going to start off at 41. Everybody's going to have that global bonus. So your main, your alts, everybody's going to be on the level playing field. Everybody's going to be the same at level 110. This does not mean before level 110 that you're going to have that global bonus is going to take effect. But what I did find is, after a couple weeks of doing stuff randomly in the PTR, like, I was getting 973 billion AP tokens. So I was getting, like, they've done a really good job with the modifiers. So most of my stuff was just testing things out in the PTR. I did do a fair amount of PvP also this week. And then, of course, I raided last night. We raid canceled today, which is good because I was really too tired to do that. Last night, unfortunately, I told you guys I had to tweet for the Rocket League tournament that NBC was covering because there's nobody else to cover it. And it was fine because there was nothing to tweet the entire raid until we get to Avatar. And I'm like, fuck. So partial through Avatar, I had to stop. I had to grab clips. I had to tweet. I don't know anything about Rocket League, so I have to learn what I have to tweet about. I have to get the right hashtags, all of that stuff. I'm flying blind, guys. There's nobody to train me. They're throwing me into the water and having me learn, which is great. So, like, there's a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the fight in random spots where I'm just standing there, not doing anything. We drop down into the thing where you have to avoid the purple tornadoes, and I got shot up into the tornadoes, thrown into the fell, popped out, and still managed to live. But I do apologize for my raid team because I was not. The same thing with Kill Jade, and I was a little bit more there. There wasn't, like, the games were kind of in between. But it was just really unfortunate, the timing, because when you look at my logs, like, leading up till Avatar, my DPS is pretty great. And then
Higher than Rems?
I don't know. Actually, on a per fight basis, one of the fights I pulled almost 900k.
Ooh,
one
that's
of the
pretty
fights
good.
I'm pretty consistent at between 700 and 750,000. Just depends on the fight, really. If there's a lot of movement and a lot of mechanics, it's not going to be the business. But honestly, there's a lot of fights, several of the wipes for Kill Jade, and I have really good DPS. I have like 800k DPS. So it just, a lot of it's specific. I have the potential to do great DPS. It just, for me, my skill set sometimes is hindered by mechanics and me not being quick enough in reaction time when I'm focused on other things. But I had a great week just doing, PTR stuff. I'll be back in regular game this week, learning how to use my new sidecar, guys. I'm going to be a professional. I was going to say something else, but time and place.
Was it unprofessional?
Well, sometimes it is unprofessional, guys, and that's okay. I want to make sure that I update the Kickstarter. Finally, I got the 5th batch of posters today after I've had them reprinted 5 times. I'm happy to say that the 5th reprint, they are perfect. So the next couple days, I'll be mailing out those items for the backers. So if you are a backer, you have not been forgotten about. I've been fighting with our poster vendor because I'm not shipping shit quality to my Kickstarter backers. So it's been 2 months me fighting with this poster vendor.
I've heard you talk about those poster guys.
Yeah.
Or ladies.
The last time I sent them an email and said, here's what you're going to do for me. You're not going to give me no bullshit about how you're going to fix this. I'm telling you, here's how you're going to make this right. So they did make it right, and I got a hell of a deal, and I got extra posters to give out at DitchCon to boot. So
nice.
Yeah, they printed 50 of each, which is a lot of money, by the way. If you guys don't know how expensive posters can be with great quality, they printed me 50 of each, and I didn't need 50 of each. So
we should make a poster of us or calendar, right? Imagine that. Bring it in the new year with PWNCAST.
The PWNCAST calendar.
Sounds doable.
I do want to have our, like, a photo
We'll have to take one
Like
at
a photo shoot. I
BlizzCon.
think that would be really nice. Similar to how we did at Blizz Nerds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
what-
at the party. You
yeah,
mean
I
like
don't think you
at
were
the
part of
party
that.
we
I don't
took
think you were
pictures?
part of PWNCAST at that time, Gemma. But
I was not, but I was there.
yeah, like the picture of Bloke and me and
Yeah.
Hots and Lycan is so nostalgic for me. When I see that, I
Yeah.
just am like, oh, so good, so good. So
I know I was trying to recreate that last BlizzCon. I was forcing it, and it just wasn't happening. Remember, I
yeah,
was like,
sometimes you can't force it in. Or
yeah.
Rem said
Got to do
Okay.
research first, guys.
Can't even.
you have to prep,
Gotta do
and you have
research,
to have a
prep.
conversation sometimes and make sure it's okay with the other party. Anyway, moving
Not just
on.
a surprise.
Yeah, it can't be a surprise, guys. I cannot stress this enough. Don't surprise picture anyone. So that's pretty much all the things
A
that
full
we got.
weekend. Wow.
We have to go, guys, because I'm reaching the point of no
Tipsy
return
point.
a little bit when it's going to get a little embarrassing. People usually only see certain sides of Belle at BlizzCon because I literally only drink a lot during BlizzCon.
I'm the same way.
The rest of the time, I don't drink shit. Like, my husband will have drinks on the weekends where he'll sit down with his Captain Morgan, but legit, the whole week of BlizzCon, I am shit-faced like 90% of the time. I am completely wasted. So,
It's gonna be a good time.
it's because I'm a mom and a wife and a dog owner, and it's the only way I get any peace is just to be drunk and eat.
Aren't
like
you
a
a
week
dog
back.
mom?
I'm just going to awkwardly smile at you until you feel uncomfortable. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for I am so tired. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get the hell out of here before I say or do anything that will be on the internet forever.
Too
Hey
late.
guys, if you are new to PWNCAST, welcome. Today's episode is a little bit
Yeah,
unorthodox. We did have a little bit more non-World of Warcraft related banter than we normally do. Chalk that up to there not being a lot of content this week, and I might have been drinking before show and during. So definitely gonna be one for the books.
It's a classic.
It's gonna go down in history as something. Rem's hair is still like perfect. It's really
I
annoying.
just want to pet him.
That's a weird fantasy to have, Jim. But
It's not a fantasy. Just.
I'm pretty sure my husband is Rem's lock screen picture.
I did picture your husband
Can
standing like
confirm that it's not.
I pictured your husband standing like Captain Morgan, like, "Hey, babe," and he's just
He
holding.
did
his
that the
drink.
other day when I came in from the gym, and I thought he was making fun of my flex Snapchats because I post my gym Snapchats.
Yeah.
I thought he was making fun of me, and I'm like, "Wow, you're kind of a jerk." And he's like, "No, it's my Captain Morgan stance." Oh. Anyway, funny how that happened to correlate. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here because Rem is officially checked out because he's on his phone, apparently, which is kind of
No,
rude.
hang on.
Are you
I'm
going to
moving
show the
shit around.
pictures? Yeah, I have that on mine as well. Guys, if you have not seen the World of Warcraft post where they put two amazing wallpapers up, they have a desktop version and they have a mobile version. So go get it because it's amazing.
Shout out to all the people on the show that have Samsung. Kudos to you.
Sorry, I'm iPhone.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah, I'm iPhone
well,
only.
2 out of the 3, right?
iPhone for life. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. If you're new to PWNCAST, make sure you subscribe. Comment. Guys, guess what I'm going to be doing this week while I'm supposed to be spending time with my mom? I'm going to respond to you guys on YouTube. Yay!
I picture you going like, "Rem, here's my mom."
Distractions, yay!
Yeah, no, I'm totally going to tag Rem in. I'm gonna be like, hey,
Yeah.
go hang out with my mom. Go take my mom to Walmart. Because my mom loves Walmart, so I'm going to have Rem take her to Walmart. But I've missed 2 weeks of responding to comments. I will get back to good and make sure that I respond to this.
Speaking of comments, don't forget, Jim's giving away 2 pets.
Yeah, guys, don't forget Jim's giving away crap. So go and get the crap that he's giving away by commenting. Just your regular comments, guys. You can give me compliments if you want. Maybe you can compliment Rem. It's always good to compliment
If you
Jimma.
compliment me, I'll give you a silver in game.
Wow, a
Yeah.
whole silver. Guys, he's a big spender. You can see why he's super popular with the ladies. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Just kidding.
Coupons, man.
Well, Rem has to stay single because I can't deal with it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And, yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully a little less loopy.
Always.
Or loopier.
Well,
Just start smoking and drinking on the show.
So
We
are we
can't.
gonna rename him?
bye. What?
No.
Rename
We're
what?
naming him to Jimmy Cheeks.
Jim and Cheap. My friend calls me Jim of Pennies.
Why?
Jimmy
Why does he call you Jim of Pennies?
He thinks he's on broke or whatever, but more like Jim of Pennies. He's just like
Oh.
he's alright. Good show.
I think it was a good show.
I don't think we had that much side talk. I thought most
I
of our
feel like
banter
we
was.
did, but I had my daughter hand me the bottle of wine during your segment.
Yeah.
I could see out of my peripheral that either you were telling someone to get you more.
I'm just really tired, and I needed to
Yeah.
find a way to be able to stay awake, or I was going to be
Well,
literally
our
snoozing.
banter